Hello, I'm Ian McCartney with Lumichron, and today I'm going to show you what's involved in making a neon circle for a neon clock, such as this. We make these clocks for Red Wing shoes, and especially we'll show you the technique for the electrodes at the very bottom of the tube. Okay, the first thing we do is what's called a ribbon burner heat. It's a full 16 inches on the ribbon burner, and twirling the glass quickly so it heats up evenly and takes a little bit to heat up the ruby red glass. And of course, I'm wearing my Red Wing boots. As the glass gets soft, you have to turn it very carefully and quickly so it doesn't collapse into the flames. And set it on the block very soon after. You can press it down with a pad like that to keep it flat, but it should be laying flat on the table. As it cools, it'll set up. As soon as it's cooled, pick it up off the table. What we'll do is we'll mark the tube exactly at 6 o'clock for where the electrode will go. Then we'll heat the glass for what's called a fire cut, exactly on the mark, keeping the flame exactly on the mark at all times. As soon as it gets soft enough, pull out and up, cut it with a torch, and then you let it sag back down, kind of blowing in and out as you go to control the bubble. It should be just about flat, and if not, you can touch it up with a torch. Immediately afterwards, apply the single burner torch to the top side of the tube, concentrating your heat in one spot and blowing very gently. You can blow a bubble, then smack it off with a torch, and immediately get the hand torch and weld on your electrode. Once you weld it together, you have to keep it in place and keep the heat on evenly, and the two will meld together well. You want to heat it to a point where the line disappears between the two glasses. Then to do the offset weld, bounce up and down like that, a little higher than where you just welded. That'll heat the glass up, and then you can do the offset. And blow. Notice that when I'm pausing with the torch, I park it underneath the tube to keep the whole area nice and hot so it doesn't cool too quickly. I'm annealing it. Now for the other side, we leave a small amount of flat spot in the middle for closing. Again, we heat to a full 16 inches wide. And set it on the block. Use the pad very carefully and quickly, and as soon as it's set up, remove it from the table and rack it. You never want to let a tube cool on the table. Here we're marking for 6 o'clock again, carefully calibrating the tube length around the block. You always have to blow in stages so you can control the glass and the heat. It's really important to keep the heat on the weld for a long time to let the glass meld well together. And you kind of pull up and blow a little bit, straighten it out. And again, I'm parking that hand torch underneath the weld to keep it all nice and hot. Then to do the offset, kind of move up and move your heat up and down to give a little bit broader heat. Offset and blow. Add it to the pile. And finally, the closing heat. It's about 4 inches long. Nice and hot. Quickly put it on the block. Remove it and let it do as much of the cooling as possible off the table. Check to make sure the electrodes are even and together. And that's it. And once again, here is the finished clock hanging on the wall.